Hello guys, Daleeny here, and after a long wait, you finally get my original series back, which is Daleeny Reviews Character Design. So yeah, the character today I want to talk about is by the name of Amarylla, and she's a creepypasta character. Now, since I never structured my videos before, I wanted to do that this time and in the future just to make it easier for me and more helpful for the person that the character belongs to as well. So the future videos, including this one, will be structured after the pros of the character and the cons of the character. And after I talked about that, I will rate every character upon the uniqueness of them, if it serves the visual purpose that the creator intended or the fandom that the character is supposed to be in, if the personality is visual, and I will also rate the overall design in general. These numbers are then calculated into a number that will show the creator my results of my review of their character. So now that that is said, let's get right into the pros of this character. So the first thing I noticed on the design of Amarylla was the vines that come out of her body and go back in. On top of her head there is a red flower that supposedly is connected to the vines that flow through her body. I like that aspect because it shows us that the character has something original that I haven't really seen anywhere before in any character design really. And they also show us what the character is about, which in my opinion would be flowers according to what I see. The character also looks pretty innocent because of her natural and bland hairstyle and her basic dress, which for a creepypasta character can actually be pretty good because it can fool you into thinking that she is actually a good character, but the truth is that she is a killer, which is stated in her biography. Another pro would be that the colors of this character fit together perfectly, which is a good sign. Those were all the pros I have found. So now let's go over to the cons. So the first obvious con of this character is basically the art style. Now, normally the art style doesn't have to do much with the overall design of something, but it can limit the creator in making detailed stuff if the creator isn't experienced into creating detailed things in a good way. So I would either suggest you study art and body anatomy more or hire an artist that will do the work for you. Now the second is that the personality of the character is barely visible. We can see that she is probably a nice little girl or a nice looking little girl, but we really can't see more other than that, which is especially a problem if you want to make a killer OC, which doesn't work really well if the character doesn't look dangerous in a way like you could have done with the flower thing and the vine thing. Next con would be that the character overall doesn't really look scary at all to us. And I know I have stated that creepypasta characters don't have to look scary in order to be good characters, but if you intend to make a killer or a type of monster and part human character, then you should try to make it look more scary or frightening to the person looking at it. The only exception would be if you want to make the character look like an innocent person and hide their evilness behind something. But even then you should imply in a little small detail how it's just a facade. The next problem comes with her dress. Now, the first thing I noticed about the dress is that it is really bland. It doesn't have a lot of detail on it, which isn't a problem, but the main problem with this dress is that it looks a little bit too similar to Sally's nightgown. Or, yeah, if you remember the girl from The Ring, she wears also some sort of pale dress. And I don't know if that's a good choice for a clothing item, if that one is basically used in another popular character. I mean, you can still do it, but it just might look like a copy, even if you didn't intend it to be one. I also noticed that she looks a little bit similar to Disney princesses like Aurora or Rapunzel. So just try to differentiate your character from any other popular characters that might look really similar to your design. The last thing I wanted to address is that the character might look a little bit confusing to one that looks at it, because she kind of looks innocent, but at the same time looks unhealthy and weird with the vines, but her body doesn't show the actual result of a foreign object coming in and out of your body, which would make her eye red and her skin kind of swollen and stuff, and I would like to see that a little bit more in the design overall. So now that that is said, let's go over to the rating. Now, in uniqueness, I'm gonna give this character a 6 out of 10, and the reason for that is that the flower thing has made a lot of the points here. Because if it wasn't for that, she would look really boring and kind of like Sally, just with different hair. And yeah, that would need a little bit more work. So the next point is how much the character design serves the visual purpose or the fandom. Now I'm gonna give you a 3 out of 10 because the character overall kind of confuses the audience into thinking why the character doesn't look scary, and why the skin doesn't really show any scars or something like that. It's just overall more confusing than fitting to the actual intention of making a creepypasta character. The next point is if the personality is visual in the character itself. And I'm gonna give you a 7 out of 10 for that, because we can clearly see a sort of personality in this character, because the innocent vibe she gives up is really strong, and also her obvious relation to plants is also really visible here. And for the hair and clothing design, I'm gonna give you a 5 out of 10 because it isn't bad, but it isn't good either. It looks a tad bit too similar to other characters, like I said previously, and it is kinda boring. So the overall finished score of your character is a 5 out of 10. It's not a bad design, but it also isn't a really good one. And if you want to improve this character, I would highly suggest you to look up dainty clothing and the kind of stuff you want your character to be, and research design in general a bit more. And also try to research how the vines would affect her body and skin, because in this state it just looks kinda unnatural and kinda weird. Not trying to be rude, but that's basically the problem here. And yet again, guys, I thank you all for watching my video. And if you are interested in character design and want to know more about it and stuff, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comment section, because I would like to read your thoughts. Thank you guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.